what were the symptoms? I mean, what did you just go to the doctor for like a checkup and they said, "Hey, we've got an issue here"? Or how did you even find out what he had?
Yeah. So 6 years ago tomorrow would be Christmas Eve. I noticed that he kind of he got sick and he threw up and he took a bath and we just noticed he had a rash on his stomach. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I bet he's starting to get strep.
He's about 4 at this time.
He had just turned 4 a couple weeks prior. And we didn't really think much of it. I thought it was just strep. And so we had Christmas. And then the day after, I noticed that the rash was now kind of climbing up his neck and spreading. And I was like, gosh, that's really weird. Again, thought it was strep because rashes with strep is common. And so I was like, well, we better go to his pediatrician so that we can get this taken care of. It's going to ruin our whole Christmas break.
Do you have any other kids?
Yes. So Seth has 2 big brothers.
The only reason I ask is because
Only 2.
being the young one, I'm sorry, with my son, most things as a parent, you're like, you'll be all right. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You had other kids, so you've kind of been through this, and you just thought it was a rash, no big deal.
Right. Yeah, no big deal. And so we went to his pediatrician, and they were like, well, this is actually a petechiae rash.
What?
Petechiae.
Where do they come up with these names?
Yep.
So
That's what I'm saying here, man. That's what I'm saying here.
So Dr. Dan at Pediatrics of Bullitt County really stepped up and ran the right test. A petechiae rash is when your blood cells get so swollen that from your white blood count, his white blood count was 240,000, 100,000. And that should be between 5 and 15,000. No, 5,000 to 15.
And it was 240.
Yeah, so it was just crazy high, and that's why his blood cells were literally exploding and causing many bruises all over, and that's what the petechiae rash is.
Did the doctor go after this hard, or the first time you went to the doctor, they said, just take some of this and we'll check him again in a week?
No, luckily we had a really, really awesome doctor.
So they probably knew what they were looking at.
Instantly knew. He was like, this is either a virus or we've got another problem.
Wow.
And he ran a CBC right there in the office, came back and he was like, something's wrong with our machine. We're going to run it again.
Because the numbers are so high.
The numbers were so high.
Is this one of those where they'd never seen one that high before?
Right. Yeah. And then he came back in and he was already in tears. And he's like, I've called the hospital. They're sending an ambulance.